actually, you're going to be helping me tell the next part of the story. Right here in our Constitution, the founding fathers said, what are we going to do if people don't like part of the Constitution and we have to change it? So they came up down here with an article that said, that's okay, sweetie, we're just going to put it right here, okay? It's all right. There, now you can face it, all right? And they said, we have to figure out a way to amend the Constitution. Okay, now, let's just say, I can use that word amend. When I open my hand, did you watch me? Can you say the word amend? Ready? Amend. Let's say amend the Constitution. Let's say it. Amend the Constitution. Okay. Now, do you think it is an easy thing or a difficult thing? Okay, think about it a minute. Do you think the founding fathers were going to make this easy for the people who lived after them, or make it difficult? Okay? How many, raise your hand, how many think it's going to be easy? How many people think it's going to be difficult? All right, you are correct on that, hands down, extremely difficult. They did that for a reason. The reason is, they didn't want just, oh, I have an idea this year and I'll change it next year. It has to be very difficult. Honey, I don't want you to step on that. Can you get that underneath? And I'm going to have you turn your feet around right here too, okay? That's good. With our feet on the floor. Good. Okay, so, here's the first question, okay? You could say to somebody, okay, our schedule today is, we have the campfire tonight at 7 o'clock. No, it's not really. It's late. We're going to amend it from 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So amend means to change. I just made that up, okay? Amend, you can amend anything that you have, but it means to change. Okay, now we won't go into how it got changed. We're going to look at the women who started the idea of doing that. So I need, where is she? I need this person right here. Okay, would you come on up? And you've got a hat underneath to put on, okay? You've got your hat, and you're also going to wear, can I just push your hair back a little bit? Okay, here we go. A shawl like this. Introducing Miss, you ready to put the hat on, because you're going to be, everybody's going to be doing something together. This is Miss Susan B. Anthony. Have any of you heard of her before? You have. Think of how many of you like coins and money? You like money and coins? Why can I say, and you don't have to tie it, and this is going to go over your shoulders like this. What do you suppose that Susan B. Anthony has to do with a coin that came out, we're going to say 35 years ago? Anybody have an idea? Just scratching? There, it was minted with Susan B. Anthony's silver dollar. Can I tell you what my husband did? His mom and dad were married 50 years. He took 50 Susan B. Anthony's and he drilled holes and he put them in and it said 50. He figured it all out. Very special what he did for his parents. Now we're going to have a little song that goes with each one of, I call them the founding mothers of the 19th Amendment. Okay, can you say founding mothers? Ready? Founding mothers. Not all of them were mothers themselves, like I am, okay? Susan B. Anthony chose not to get married and have children because the work was too demanding for her, okay? Now, you might notice that she's wearing a red scarf. Susan, I want her to have you dress up in black. She always wore black, all the time. She carried a bag with her. Sebastian, see that bag in front of the red, white, and blue basket? Would you go get it for me? It's underneath the yellow paper. Okay. She carried a bag. And in my research, thank you, we're going to pretend that this is a carpet bag that's black, okay? And I'm going to have you hold this. Wherever she traveled around the country, and one day, some little girls in California, they didn't have the right to vote yet, saw her and they said, Lucy, they had a song and a poem that actually went with her. It'll come to me later. But it referred to the lady with the black alligator purse, okay? And they did a jump rope to this, and they had that as well. So I'm going to let you hold it. Now, I have written a song for each of them, and I'm going to start to sing it to you. Here we go. And I'm going to use some big words. Come over here. Here's Susan B. from the temperance movement. She has lots of stamina and spunk. It's unfair that women are unequal, even to the town drunk. Now you might think, oh my goodness, Mrs. Constitution Lady, what does Susan B. Anthony have to do with the town drunk? Okay, now listen to this. Susan B. Anthony had an argument for why women should vote. She looked at election day. And election day was not as orderly as it should have been. Some people would say to the men, because only men, hey, come on into the bar room. Let me give you a few drinks. Now, who are you going to vote for? And they'd say, oh, I'm going to vote for you because you gave me some free drinks at the bar. And some of the men went into the voting booth a little dizzy to check off the name of that man. Now, is that what the Constitution wanted to happen? Do you suppose, is that the good reason for you to go out and vote? No, of course not. Okay, so one of her arguments was that, wait a minute, if drunken men are going in and voting, why am I not voting? So that is your song, Susan B. Anthony. And there are lots of other wonderful things I could say about you as well. She is one of the founding mothers. Now, the amendment, I started with you on purpose. The 19th Amendment to the Constitution, way down here, number 19, is called the Susan B. Anthony Amendment. Can we say that, please? The Susan B. Anthony Amendment. Now, she didn't do it all alone. As a matter of fact, Susan, you didn't even start the ball rolling. You only helped to get it rolling. We're going to meet the next woman who actually did get the ball rolling, okay? So you may actually sit down because it's kind of warm to take this up. Now, I need to have, let me see, I'm looking for a different kind of a bonnet. Well, actually, would you mind coming up and let me see, you don't need a bonnet, okay? And I'd like to give you your picture. Oh, over there, I have pictures that go with them. Hold on just a minute. Can you just put that skirt, can you put it on over what you've got there? Okay, yeah. Can you help her do this? Thank you. Okay. And got pictures. Here they are. Whoops. Oh dear. Okay, now let's see what Susan B. Anthony actually looked like. Okay. Get them here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Here we go. This is just a blown-up copy of what an artist did. Keep that up, okay? All right, do we have a pin anywhere, Mrs. Pratt? A pin or anything? Actually, okay, let me just stand here.
There's a pin on here.
What?
This kind of pin or safety pin?
No, I'm not a pin, a pin. I'm going to use this.
A safety pin.
This is good. Okay, come on over here, honey. I'm going to do this for you, okay? Now, this might look like it's Julie, right? But it's actually, and I'm going to have you just leave this on here, okay? Now, Elizabeth Cady Stanton was very different than, oops, hold on a second, than Susan B. Anthony. She didn't even know Susan B. Anthony when she came up with the idea, okay? So this is Susan B. Anthony, and where is she? She's right here. So just a little bit later we can go back. Now, Elizabeth Cady Stanton. This is in her later years, Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She had very white hair like this, and she had 7 children. Does anyone in this room have 7 children? My mother, and in the olden days, my mother, she was one of 7 children who lived in a little tiny house as well. But she loved her children, but she also loved, yes, do you have questions, Cash? Right, okay. So I'm just going to have you hold this, okay? Now, I'm going to give you, even though she had white hair, she didn't wear a bonnet like this, but we're just going to put this on just to remind her that she was the actual founder of the idea. I'm going to pull your hair back like this, okay? So that you can hold it. Now, here is, I'm going to come over here. This is your song, okay? Elizabeth Cady Stanton. I'm going to stop there. When she was a little girl, her parents' names were Elizabeth, and her daddy was a judge, Judge Cady. and they lived in a very nice house with a few servants and things like that. Not like Susan B. Anthony, who really was, I forgot to tell you about her, I'll have you come back a little bit later. She was a Quaker, and that's why she wore black all the time, no jewelry or anything else. So, Elizabeth Cady, and then she married, okay Leo, put your jacket on, okay? She married Henry Stanton. And oh, Elizabeth, your parents were so upset. He was a nice guy, but he didn't make very much money. How was he going to supply for you? Come on over here, Leo, okay? Now, Henry Stanton, okay, was the very first person in American history to, are you ready? To be hired by the abolitionists to lecture around the country to abolish slavery. So what's our sign for slavery? Okay? He was going to make, let's do liberty and justice, ready? Liberty and justice for all. She, on the other hand, didn't really know anything about this. She knew about the slaves and she thought it was terrible, but it was her husband, Henry, who said to her, are you ready for this? Well, I don't care if your parents don't like it. You're kind of an independent woman, Elizabeth. Do you really want to marry him? And the answer was a big what? Here he is. Big yes. Yeah, because he's your husband. See, see that? You got his last name. Okay, so now you know. Okay, now, so they're going on their honeymoon. Okay, you think they're going to go to the beach and stuff like that? No. Henry, guess where you're going to take her? To London. Ooh, London Bridge, exciting, right? Yeah, that's true, but we're going to go to the world's first abolitionist convention to abolish slavery in the whole world. And believe it or not, Elizabeth went, yeah, that's a great idea. Most people would like to go to the beach and climb a mountain or travel to Alaska or something like that. Not Elizabeth. She married Henry because he spoke for, let's do liberty and justice for all, ready? Spoke for liberty and justice for all. And that's why she fell in love with you. However, I have to tell you something I know deeply about this. Henry, you're the father of her 7 children. A problem was that if you're traveling all around the country giving lectures, what's the problem going to be with him being a dad to your 7 children? He's never what? He's not around, you're right, to help out. Poor Elizabeth was like mother and father, and then he would come home. He was actually a good father, but it's okay, because their marriage supported that, and they were okay with that. Now, something happened at the convention. I'm going to have you, okay, gentlemen, stand. You, all the gentlemen, come over here, the men. You're all going to London with Henry. Have a stand over here. Okay, right here, Franklin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now, gentlemen, guess what happens? They go to the convention, and you get to sit in the front row. Yes, you're going to fight, and yes, you're going to help change the world. Right? You're all excited. Elizabeth meets, who is Lucretia Mott. I'm going to have, let me see you do that. May I have you, right here. Would you come up and just put your little bonnet on, okay? This is Lucretia, whoops. Here you go. You got it? This is Lucretia Mott. She was also a Quaker, had very, just like Susan B. Anthony, who's not in the picture yet, okay? And I'm going to have you come over here because, see Sebastian here? Okay, Sebastian, oh actually, I'm going to switch these two. Sebastian, you kind of like to dress up a little. This is James Mott. You put this on, okay? You're right here. Slide that on. Now these two were among the older people, okay, at the convention that they had, all right? So Susan, Lucretia, I gotta get your picture, so come on over here, okay? And on the way, Lucretia meets, okay, Elizabeth Cady Stanton. We're gonna put this down. Where's your seat? Is it right here? Okay. Shake hands, okay? a minute. You two were elected delegates, but you're only women. You can't sit on the floor with us. You two have to sit up in the balcony behind a curtain. You can peek over the curtain. So come on over here, okay? Have a seat. Have a seat. All right, girls. You were elected to be a delegates to vote. Do you suppose? How do you feel sitting up there behind a curtain? Can't speak? And you know what? You can't vote. Because the men had this big argument and they said, no, women don't vote. And how does it make any of you girls feel? How do you feel about that? Do you have a word for it? Okay, feel kind of sad? And, oh, what are you smiling for, Franklin? Okay. He must have been one of the American delegates who said, it's only right and proper for them to do. Now, this is what happens, okay? Come on up, you two girls. The convention is over. Gentlemen, you may sit down. And remember, you're Henry Stanton and you're James Mott. Okay, come on over here. All right? You make a promise to each other. Cross your heart, okay? Here's your promise, you two. That someday you will meet together again. And you are going to do something you didn't know what. To be liberty and justice for all. Let's say it with liberty and justice for all, which means all women too. Women are citizens, okay? So they shake hands again. Actually, they probably Lucretia was more like a grandmother. She was the oldest. And she was a young woman. She was on her honeymoon. She didn't even have children yet. So they probably gave each other a big hug. Can you give us a big hug? All right, okay. And I have to tell you, 8 years later, they were writing to each other good news. They come up with a terrific plan to amend the Constitution for, are you ready, everybody? What's our word? For liberty and justice for all women too. You may sit down. You may sit down. Okay, now, you have met 3 of, oh no, don't take it off. You can take your hat off. That's okay, because it's kind of warm, okay? Now, there's somebody we still haven't met yet. Okay, let me see. I think I will take, no, did you put the little one that you've got here, okay? Okay. And I gotta find your picture. We've got this picture, we've got, where's the other pictures here? We've got, this is going to be you. You can take a look at that, okay? See who she is there. This is, okay, I'm sorry, where's Lucretia Mott? Who was just Lucretia Mott? That was you, right, Josephine? Okay? This is Lucretia Mott. Remember, she was like a grandmother here, and she was also a Quaker. Now, this is important. Come on up. Okay, Josephine, you hold this. Susan B. Anthony, just come up, okay, because I want you to something special about these 2 women. Okay. Did I give you your sign? The picture? Can you find the picture? Oh, no, that's, you're not Elizabeth. No, you're Susan B. Where is your picture? Does anybody see it? Oh, you know. You're, I'm sorry. You are, I apologize. Come on up. Susan B. Okay. I got mixed up. Okay, here we go. Now, you want to pull up your sign. Okay. Turn this way. Okay. Susan B. Anthony and Lucretia Mott belong to the Quaker Christian religion. Okay. Now, they did something that no other anywhere religion did. Are you ready for this? When you went to the service, it wasn't called a church, when they went to meeting, the women would feel they would be reading their Bibles silently, that the Spirit, the Holy Spirit would come in them. And they would stand up and they would start to speak. And they would give a message like from the Bible or something that they had learned. Now, this was allowed, okay, because Quaker people believed in, when it came to speaking, what's our thing? With liberty and justice for all. And they said men and women are equal. Even when they married, the men did a lot more work helping Now, where's James Mont? Who is James? Who James Mont? No, who's James Mont? You were. Okay, so you had a very equal marriage with Lucretia as well, because you would actually allow her to do it, and that would make them very, very radical. Just put it on the back of the sheet, okay? So I wanted to bring that up, because these were the two who started thinking about amending the Constitution. So I'm going to have you sit down. Now we see, come on up, this is Lucy Stone, right here. Turn around. And I'm going to sing your song. Lucy Stone, sticks and stones might break your bones, but nasty names won't hurt me. Freedom and equality. Did you learn something in that little song I wrote, just hold it still like this, about Lucy Stone, okay? And you want to cover up her face, okay? This is when she's actually older, an older person, okay? So, Lucy Stone was not a Quaker. She grew up in a home where women were not allowed to speak, even within the family as well. So listen to her song again. Lucy Stone, sticks and stones might break my bones. Have you ever heard that expression? When I was little, one time, somebody called me a name, and I was about your age, Adeline, and I came in crying. I didn't even know what the word meant. And I said, Mommy, somebody called me and they called a name. And my mother said, well, if you don't like it, you just get kind of tough and look right back at them and say, sticks and stones might break my bones, but names will never hurt me, and turn yourself around and walk away. So that's how I started to learn how to be a really feisty girl, okay, on that. Well, anyway, Lucy Stone had an idea. She was even more radical. Now I need another gentleman here. Who hasn't been up with my gentleman? Levi, come on up. You have to put your shirt on. You are Henry Blackwell, okay? Remember his name, Blackwell, right? Now, whoops, wait a minute, I gotta help you here. Yeah, come on up here. Here, you don't have to button, that's fine, okay. Henry Blackwell met Lucy in her younger years. She was a very beautiful girl, just like you, okay? Especially when you smile, okay? She was a beautiful woman, and he said to her, now she was 39 years old, and she had already said, go like this, I'm never going to get married. Say that. It's too tough. Go ahead. To be a married woman with children. That's really how she felt. But Henry kept courting her and liked her, and he was such a nice man, okay? So finally, they decided, they were going to get married. Now, I'm going to be the preacher, okay? Like this. Now, I now pronounce you husband and wife. And wait a minute, Rowan, who is going to be Lucy Stone, said, wait a minute, we're going to change the marriage vows. I am his wife, you can say that, but I'm not going to be Mrs. Blackwell. But I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be Mrs. Blackwell. I'm going to keep my own name. Can you say that? And you want to keep everybody, what does she want to be known as? Lucy Stone. But you can say Mrs. because she was married. Let's say it. Mrs. Lucy Stone. This was shocking. I want everybody to go like this. How dare you do that, Lucy? No woman ever done that. Now, Henry, you were a pretty open-minded person. You loved her. You said it was fine with you. Okay, go ahead, say that. Yeah, it's fine with me. So the rest of you, I don't care. And that was absolutely true. Now, I did not know this. When my mom was still living, I said, Mom, have you ever heard of a woman who was called a Lucy Stoner? She said, oh, yes. Now, this is back when women still didn't have the right to vote. She said, oh, yes. A Lucy Stoner was a person who refused to take her mother's name, and that was shocking. Everybody goes shocking like this. Shocking. Okay, Okay, now, that was absolutely true. However, I have to tell you, they had a wonderful marriage, and I'm so happy I didn't bring a doll with me. She did have a little baby whose name was, can't remember the first name, it'll come to me later, so-and-so, Blackstone, Blackwell. So she said, I'm going to give my baby both of these names. Now, it's a good thing about that you had a daughter. Do you know what happened? Years later, when these two had died, your daughter helped to bring together all of the women's rights who were arguing and to get over their split in their argument. You know something? If you two had not had your little daughter, we might still not have had that 19th Amendment. So we need to give a round of applause to, wait a minute, Mrs., what's her name? Mrs. Lucy Stone, and his name is Mr. Henry Blackwell. Round of applause. All right, and sit down. Got that? Okay, now, there's somebody who I don't think I sang the song for them. Did I sing Elizabeth? Who's Elizabeth? Where's Elizabeth? Did I sing Elizabeth? No, I didn't sing her song yet. Just put a thought in on it. It's okay. Here she goes, and here's her song. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, mother of suffragettes' rights, mother of 7 growing children. And then she says, like this, watch what I do. I'll stand up and fight. Can you do that with me? Get your fist up. Okay, ready? I'll stand up and fight. She didn't mean fighting like in the Revolutionary War in a battle. She meant using words to argue her point, okay? So that's her song. So now, we have, you may sit down. Thank you so much. We have met Elizabeth Cady Stanton. We have met Susan B. Anthony. What? You can't get up? What? Oh, that's okay. You're fine. Okay. Actually, can you wait for a picture after this? That would be good. And who was the other person that I just did? Listen, and Lucy Stone, Lucretia Mott, Susan B. Anthony, and who was the other one that I just did? So all 4 of these women. Now, how did I come up with this idea? I was reading a children's book, and it had all 4 pictures together. And I thought, this was about 20 years ago, okay? And I thought, wouldn't it be fun if they all had a little song to sing, but it was a song? You can't do it unless you were my music students, okay? Each one of them can sing separately, and all those songs go together, okay? A very, very simple song. It's called a Quod Libet, 4 songs that fit together. Okay, can I have you put that down? Okay? And how many minutes do I have left? 3 minutes. Okay, everybody stand up. Put everything down. Now, I need you just to raise your hand. Okay, Sebastian, I got a fun job for you. Okay. Oh, come back quickly because you're not going to want to miss this. Okay. Something happened. It's a little incident that happened. Okay. Okay. And it happened to let me think. Lucy Stone, Susan B. Anthony. Okay, where are you? Okay. I'm going to have you put your bonnet on in a minute. Okay. When people got up, yes, Levi. Oh, what? Who are you? Do I give you the? Oh, did you already have a card? Yeah. Okay, you're all set. Okay. What did you want to say? Say what? Oh, okay. Raise your hand. Now you can put it down. Okay. Now, while we're standing up, there are 5 parts to the Constitution's First Amendment. And they're all freedoms. Now, I didn't show you how to do the word freedom. Start with slavery. Now, you can't open up to the L word for liberty. You have to open up to the F. This is an F. This is an F. Okay? And it's standing up straight. So, I'm going to say with justice and freedom for all, just to get that word in, okay? With justice and, here we go, freedom, hold that right there. Let me see, are they all standing up? For all. And you may now sit down, okay? Okay, now, I'm going to continue tomorrow to tell you how the First Amendment was what all these women and men used. Oh, while we're looking here, okay, this is, take a look at this picture real quick. This woman is going to vote. She's going to try to vote. Susan B. Anthony, you came up with this wonderful idea. Wait a minute. They said I can't vote, but they didn't say I couldn't register to vote. I'm going to take a bunch of women down, and I'm going to say, Rochester, New York, we're all here to register to vote. You can't vote. We're not going to vote. We just want to register to vote. That's all. I mean, we're not harming anybody. He was kind of a good guy, and he was scared. All these women looked a little bit kind of feisty and angry. So he said, okay, you can register to vote. What do you suppose happened when the judge found out that this man in charge of Rochester allowed these women to register to vote? What do you suppose happened? If you were a Judge Levi, what would you say? Was it the law? Well, it wasn't the law, but it was kind of messy like this. So, you know what Susan B. Anthony wanted to do? She was very smart. She said, I want this to go to the court. So come up here, watch you stay there. You're in jail. She said, let all the other women go. They knew they were after her. She was the troublemaker that you are, okay? Put her in jail. She was arrested for something that really wasn't illegal. And it has to go now to a whole court of law. Now, tomorrow we're going to find out what happened. Okay, that's a preview of coming attractions. Okay, so if everyone can remember who you are tomorrow, that'll be great. Now, you can put that, oh, this is like, can you see how they're saying to her, no, he's holding her hand up. You can't vote, you can't register to vote. That's what we're doing. Okay, now we have a little bit of an audience here. Let's see if you remember your order. Okay, tonight at campfire, all right, we have 4 people who have their signs. Okay, here I go. C-O-N, put it in chin position. This is our review. S-T-I-T-U, T-I-N. Okay, here we go. T-I-O-N, who is that? Oh, he'll come. Okay, chin position, please. Okay, number 1. Get this out of the way.
We have 1 minute.
Here we go. Got 1 minute together. Here we go. 1. Sebastian. Who's the first person in line? Adelaide. You're the last person in line. Line up. You know who you were? Here we go. Come on, President.
Oh, I mean,
Emily.